Welcome, friends! It is I, your host, Scarf, and it's time for the patch notes on the Vulcan change. And, spoiler alert, I am salty. White salty. He doesn't even have his own cover page here for the login screen? Really? Alright, well, let's get into this thing. So, getting into it is basically the good. And also, Vulcan doesn't have a thing on the cover. It's still Hebo. Okay, so here's the good. 1 new voice pack, sorta. And 3 gold skins. And people are going to be really happy about those gold skins, so let's go ahead and check out the gold skins first, and that is Gold Ares. Yep, there it is. He's here. Check out Gold Ares. Looking pretty cool there. Look at that. I like the feather going right there, nice shine there. Big gold sword there. Still got the flames there. Looks pretty good. And then we got over here, black one. Looks pretty good Legion looking. Nice Army of Darkness look there. Oh god, they should make that a skin. Forgot about that. Army of Darkness would be perfect for him now, wouldn't it? That would be interesting there. Okay, so there you go. Ares gold skin. Oh, there is also a gold skin for Kronos. So let's check it out. Right here. Ah, there it is. Gold Kronos. Looking, oh wow, wow. Huh. I don't know. Looks alright. Let's check out the black one. Let's check out the black one. Alright, I guess just because there's just so many bits and pieces to them that there's just a lot of black and gold going on there. And it's okay to me. Other people might like it more. It's a little okay to me. And the final gold skin is Athena. Let's check this out. Check it out, check it out, check it out. And it is... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. 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 Alright. Looks pretty good there. Really highlighting a certain area there a little bit there. Oh my god, okay. Alright, this looks pretty cool here. I'm kind of surprised there's like a little more blue on the bird, or giving blue wings on. Maybe they tried and it didn't look very good, but this looks pretty good. Pretty good, nice and shiny. Really highlights areas. Let's check out the black one. Oh, definitely highlights those areas. And looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. I think out of the 3, this is my favorite one. The other ones, like Kronos, I don't know, looks alright to me, while Ares looks pretty good. I like this one the most for sure. And new voice pack for Hebo. Let's hear how this sounds.
Okay.
Really?
Help, right lane.
Oh my god.
Enemies in the middle lane. Enemy spotted. Attack middle lane. Attack.
Is that fudging Vegeta?
I am returning left lane. Retreat right lane. I have returned. Enemies at the Gold Fury. Enemies in the right lane.
Is that Vegeta?
Chase the enemy. I am going for jungle buff. Follow me. I have returned.
Okay, he just sounds so much like Vegeta. And I gotta look this up later on. Is he freaking Vegeta's voice actor? Because he sounds like Vegeta, and I want him to say Kakarot really angrily. He just sounds like it.
Enemies have returned left. Quiet. Curses. Enemy missing middle. Sorry. I'll defend left lane.
Come on, that's gotta be Vegeta. That's gotta be freaking Vegeta. There's no way it isn't.
Enemies in the jungle. Enemies at our Minotaur.
Just want him to yell Kakarot! That's what I want to hear. Oh my god, I swear to god, if that's not Vegeta, I am nuts. I am nuts. And then you can look at Vulcan here. So we'll talk about Vulcan at the end of this whole thing. Like I said, disappointed. And there's new portraits here. New mirror portrait. We can't see that too well, but there it is. There's a new one right there. And I think that's all of them. Anubis doesn't reflect how he looks now, which is surprising there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to items. Alright, there's only 2 real changes to items besides just wording and stuff. There's a bug fix for teleport to towers. Apparently you could not be interrupted while using them. And also hard CC wouldn't do anything. So that bug has been fixed, which is good because that's a big bug there for those people who use those. And then the other change is Fist of the Gods. Now no longer instantly kills crap. Now it only stuns. That's it. It also has a 90-second cooldown on it. While Hand of the Gods still has its stuff. But this one only does that. You can't clear anymore. Which is fine. You have a choice between objective clearing or stunning people. Which I think is good. That's a good change there. This is a really popular item. So this is a good change. I really think so. Because you could just do too much with this thing. And now it's just, do you want to stun or clear objectives effectively? And that's a good change there. I agree with that. Now let's get on to the gods. Alright, time to get to the real meat of this patch and the real holy crap, what the hell's going on to it all. Let's start out with Amazon Cobb, who has been castrated! Yes, he has. His passive now does only 5 damage per tick, and it only does 5% of your physical power. So basically, this thing doesn't mean crap. His passive doesn't mean anything. He's not going to do much damage to you. He ain't going to do anything. So he does 30 damage if he gets the bees on you, basically, at the start, and then it gets a little bit stronger, and it's never going to be something significant in a fight at any point. And so his passive is meaningless. Just, oh my god, he does nothing. So at the start of the game, he will do 30 damage to you, which is very negligible, because that doesn't actually mean much at the start of the game. And later on in the match, it'll get up a little bit, and maybe he'll do 100 with the passive. That's it. That's it, because, that is not much that passive can do. That thing has been neutered horribly, and it's not even cut by half, it's cut down even worse than that. It's just, oof. Why even use it, really? And that's for that. Also, the bees no longer transfer from minions to gods. They can transfer from minions to minions, or gods to gods, but no longer minions to gods. So that really does mess its clear up a little bit, so that's eesh. His hives as well has been cut in half in certain ways. He can only have 4 hives, and the cooldown has been doubled to 16 seconds. He still gets all the bonuses to it, but eesh for that. Now, what this does is you can't really plan ahead with him anymore. All you can really do is put the hives down when you need them, and that's about it. And then your hive gets killed, and then crap. So what we're going to see more of, instead of people spreading out their hives, we're going to see people cluster their hives, I think. Because all it takes is one basic attack to kill their hive. So they're going to want to put down 2 hives, or maybe 3 to cover their situation, and only fight from there. So what happens is Amazon has now become a very restricted god. He can only fight where his hives are, really. And he'll maybe put a hive ahead of him to get going, but that's about it. It's no longer on short cooldown, which means he can't just run and put hives anymore. He can put down a hive, run, and then he got slowed down for a while, then put down a new hive, and there you go. So Amazon's ability to move around has definitely been changed up a lot, and that's no good for him. And the rest of his abilities have not been changed. So they just nerfed the hell out of his bees, and they nerfed his hives pretty bad there. So his sustainability is still there. It's just his ability to move around is not there anymore. He doesn't really have much of an escape now because he can't plan hives ahead. So Amazon is in a bad spot when it comes to just survivability, and his clear has taken a bit of a hit there, but not too big of a hit. But he still is going to be able to wreck really hard with his with all these abilities here and his basic attack. He's still going to hit pretty hard, but his passive is now, why does he even have a passive anymore? It's going to ruin his clear a little bit, but not too badly, just because Swarm will be still pretty strong for it. Same with Honey. And his hives are just less effective. I don't know why they did this. It's pretty... It really wrecks him pretty bad. These abilities, they should have toned these down. They shouldn't have just wrecked these. They should have toned these down. So now he's just got these. And, I don't know. So he's gonna have a bit of a rough time. We're still gonna see Amazon players, but I don't think we're gonna see as many high-level Amazon players, because this actually means a lot, this hive change here, just because of what it does for his ability to move around. We're gonna see him more restricted from more than anything, I think, is just him sitting in one spot more often, maybe sticking to his lane a little bit more, getting the clears going still, but we're probably not going to see him roam as much as he used to. And I really think they should just tone these down instead of doing this, because this really means a lot to Amazon, is just having these things and actually having a passive. Now he just doesn't have one anymore, and it's just, well, crap. Just crap. Next change, Aphrodite! They changed her back off. Now it no longer goes to her teammate, it goes only to her. So she still has her knockback and everything, but no longer goes to teammate. So what this does is it gives you a little better defensibility to yourself, because you are, if someone comes at you, you can push them away and do some damage. But now it does mess up her poking and aggressiveness a little bit when it comes to having a teammate. No more Bastet jumping in, doing a bunch of damage, and then getting more damage from back off from Aphrodite. None of that. No more Vamana with that, Odin with that. So this, when you think of Aphrodite as the way she is, she's supposed to be a co-op kind of god, where she can do stuff for herself, but she also does a lot of stuff for her teammate. And now they've just taken away one thing that she does for her teammate, and it's just, okay, well, they've made her a little more selfish. And so that really, when you think about just the way the god's supposed to be, that's not cool. But that's what they did, and there you go. We just have to accept and move on with that one. But I don't know. Do not like this one. I don't think they need to change this, but they did. And it is what it is, and I don't know. I really don't get it. Arachne has a change. She has 2, kind of. Her Tangled Web now has a high, when you do her targeter, it now highlights whether or not it'll go onto targets, basically. That's it. So it's like, it'll highlight. That's it. The other one is the more significant one, and that is her stun now lasts 1.5 seconds instead of 1 second on her ult, and her ult's width is now 5 feet instead of 3 feet. So basically, it's easier to land, and it lasts a little bit longer. So what happens is, basically, you have another extra half a second to put in another basic attack. So let's see, with 1.5 seconds. So you can go ahead and you can put in maybe 2 or 3 ticks of your poison into someone after you ult them, and then do your 2 to finish them off. So that's what it does there. It lets you get your final tick on your poison, or get the second tick depending on your attack speed, which ain't bad. And then there's ultimate, which it just lets you land it easier. That's all that really does, is it's going to be an easier time landing that thing. This does not do much for people who already know how to play Arachne and land those ults very often. If you can land your ult often, all this does is make sure that you land it even more often. And those of you who couldn't land it that well, you'll be able to land it more often as well. And what does this really do? This gives her a little better gank potential, but if you were landing them already, it doesn't mean much. So it doesn't do all that much, in my opinion. This doesn't change her late game presence. This doesn't change her team presence. This doesn't change anything for her. She's still in a very bad place. I would take all these back just for the cripple again. She was in a good place there, because considering how half the freaking roster has escapes, Arachne can only engage half the freaking roster. That's just the way it is. She can only engage half the roster regularly because she doesn't have a cripple. Look at that with Bakasir. Bakasir is as strong as he's always been. The difference is they gave him a cripple. He used to only be able to engage half the people, then they gave him a cripple so he engage every god, and then they started nerfing the heck out of him. And that's all they did, was change the cripple. Same thing goes for Arachne. The cripple is significant just because of how many escapes there are in this game. And taking it away from Arachne has really hurt her pretty bad, and giving it to Baka has somehow made him OP when he's been as strong as he's always been, and I've never relied on that cripple. And a good Baka doesn't rely on that cripple anyway, so I don't know. I really don't get how that works out, and I really do not get the Arachne change here. And I don't think this is going to do anything big for her in the grand scheme. We're going to go ahead and do a video experimenting with a new ultimate, which means we're going to see a lot more ganking, hopefully. But people with escapes are still going to be a problem, and we'll see how well we do it. All we can really do is now we get another tick of poison on them, and then we get the bite on them, and hopefully that'll be enough to finish them off. That's really all it really does. And if it's not enough to finish them off, they get away because we don't have a cripple anymore. That's really what happens. The cripple was the way to ensure that you finish someone off, because there are a lot of people who can get away from her. More than 21 gods can get away from Arachne. That's half the roster. Up next is Ares. Ares gets 2 changes. One is his bolster defenses has been buffed a little bit, which is good for him. He could use a little more defense. It goes up by 10 points across the board. And his shackles now can be casted a little bit sooner. Once you land the first one, you can send the second one out a bit sooner then, and then the next one sooner after that one. So that's good. So you can go ahead and just rapid fire those chains a little bit quicker. Because it used to be you threw one out and then you need like a moment before you can throw out another one, and then the last one. But now you can throw them out a little bit faster, so good for him for that. Up next is Athena, and her ultimate has been nerfed. Again, the damage mitigation is now 20% instead of 25%, and the damage has been reduced by 200 at the final level. And, okay, so here's how it is. Here's how the reduction is. Doesn't reduce anything, then it reduces by 50, then 100, then 150, then 200. That's how they reduced it. And also they took away 10% of the magical power contribution. That's what they did. So they nerfed it quite a bit. And here's my problem with this is, I don't know if there's a way to do it. Her ult does do some good damage. The mitigation is nice. I remember when it used to do a really good amount of mitigation. But this isn't what makes her so strong. What makes her so strong is her peel and her 3 doing such good damage and her 1 dashing and just doing things. I don't really know how you could nerf her correctly, because the ultimate isn't the problem with her. She's really effective because of her peel and just the damage she can do and her tankiness. She's really good for what she does, and I don't think it's the way you nerf her, because the ultimate isn't what makes her so... well, the damage on it isn't what makes her so effective. It's the mitigation a bit and her ability to be anywhere because of the ultimate. That is really what makes her so strong, is her maneuverability and her peel and her tankiness. And we're nerfing the damage on her ult, which doesn't mean too much. So it's a weird nerf there, but that's what they did. That's what they did. Bastet. She has a minor buff to her, and that is her additional damage for her passive is now 20% instead of 15%. Bastet does some good damage already. I guess this puts it up a little bit, and it's not bad. Not bad. I think this will just make her get kills a little bit sooner. But, I don't think it changes too much for her. It really doesn't change how you're going to play. It just means you're going to kill people a little bit quicker. Chang'e got a change, and it is curious how this works. Now, her Moonlit Waltz casts 0.1 seconds sooner to match her animation a little bit better, apparently. And then her 3, her heal, is weird. It now has damage. What? So her heal now damages people, and she no longer gets a healing bonus from it, from having teammates nearby. So what happened here? I honestly don't get it. I do not. The thing that was great about Chang'e is she's very support heavy, and her only damage is, of course, her 1 and her ult, and that's fine. She could still kill you with these things pretty effectively. And her sustainability for herself from having teammates around and just healing constantly, she was the closest we had to a true support, where she could just heal herself forever and heal her teammates and just stay alive for a long-ass time. That was her thing. And now she's lost that sustainability a little bit in the name of more damage, and I do not agree with that. It gives her a bit of a more team-fighting presence, but she was more the poker and then the harass, and she was more there to harass and get in your way and then finish you off. And just, she was more supposed to be an annoyance. Now you give her more damage? We're going to see more kills from Chang'e because of this. We're also going to see her die a little bit more because of sustainability issues. So I don't know how this is going to go, but I don't agree with it. Giving her more damage when she's already damaged enough and reducing her sustainability? I don't agree with it, but this is what they've done. You can now hurt people equal to your healing with Chang'e for her 3. And okay, alright. Chronos nerf. They've nerfed his accelerate again. It is now up to 17 seconds on the cooldown instead of 15, and the attack speed has been reduced by 5%. So this is, I think it's still a good nerf for him because his accelerate is pretty dang strong with everything else. Is this enough of a nerf? We'll find out. I think it might be. This is pretty good nerf here. It's going to take a little bit longer for him to do it, and his attack speed's down a little bit more. If he's still considered OP, then they'll probably nerf this one more time. That's got to be it, because I think he's getting close to the balancing spot, if he's not there already. Cupid! He got a buff. Cupid's 1 now has been reduced by 2 seconds, so he can cast it more often. And his flutter has been increased on the attack speed by 5% across the board. So 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, when it used to be 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. So nice little boost there. A little more reward for taking a risk because you're going to dash in and go for the kill instead of dashing the hell away when you need it. And we'll see how that goes. I think these are good changes for Cupid. These don't make him too strong at all. These help him get a little bit stronger. Cupid is actually a pretty good god already, so this will make him a little bit better. It's just that some people have a hard time with him. And this should help him out. This should definitely help him out. Rhea nerf. Now her ultimate has been nerfed by 10% on her magical contribution. That's it. It's not a huge nerf, but it is a good little nerf there, and that's fine. Her ultimate is more for escape and finishing people off, not for the bulk of her damage anyway. And this is a fine nerf there. That's all right. I didn't really think she needed to get nerfed, but she got her nerf, and it's not too bad. Let's see here, Mercury nerf. Now his major look now is an instantaneous thing. It doesn't do hit targets in a bit of a row thing where you'll notice that when you use them, it would hit something, then something, then something, then something. That hits everything instantly. Now what this does is, when you use the golden bow on a group of targets, it would hit them all one at a time, and then all the proccing would happen one at a time, which meant a crap ton of damage. Now it's all going to proc at once, which means only one proc hit. So that's unfortunate, because that was really cool there. That was really strong, but I guess it was too strong. But that's only that in combination with the golden bow. So I don't know about that too much, but that's what they've done, is now you can't be really strong with the golden bow, which means golden bow's back to being okay. And then the other one is Sonic Boom has been reduced by 20% on its physical power contribution, which is fine. This thing's more for setup than anything, not really for kills. It's good for finishing off and for setup. This isn't for the bulk of his damage, so it's fine that they've taken down 20% of it. He'll still guarantee kills. He'll still disorient people. He'll still do very fine with this, so it's a fine patch. I mean, it's a fine nerf for him. Odin gets a buff. So what happens here with Odin? So Odin over here, he has another passive. This is kind of ridiculous how much stuff he has. But he has another passive going on here for his 2. And the idea is he now gets physical power, and it's percentage based. 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, and 25%. It's a passive, by the way. He doesn't have to cast it to do this. And there's two feelings about this. One is Odin is pretty strong already, I felt, and this makes him, holy crap, a lot stronger. This does two things. One is if you build him Bruiser, you're going to be really strong. You're going to hit really hard because 25% is significant. If you build him tanky, it's still significant because you're going to have a good amount of damage while still being tanky. That's really what this does. So Odin's going to be stronger in either respect that you do for him, and I don't know. 25% looks really strong to me, but we'll see when people actually play him. I thought he was fine already, so this just makes him a lot stronger. And we'll find out just how strong it makes him. Also, the buff used to be 7 seconds, now it's 5 seconds when you do a shout. Slight Vamana buff. Vamana's ultimate is back up to 5% per second. Remember when this was considered OP and they nerfed it down to 2 seconds? And they put it up to 3? I mean, not 2 seconds. They put it up to 2%. I mean, put it down to 2%, then 3%. Now it's back up to 5%. What does it really tell us? The fact that this is considered a buff, putting him back at 5% per second, when it was used to be considered OP. Holy crap. This just means there's a lot of damage. There's a lot more damage going on in this game now. And tanky guys like Vamana need to go back to what was considered OP, what used to be considered OP. That's just wow. Just wow. The same thing is being said for Thor is people feel like Thor is now underpowered in consideration with everything else, when Thor used to be considered OP for the longest time. And I still think Thor is pretty strong, but he's definitely not as strong as he used to be compared to other gods. Now we got a Zeus nerf, 2 of them. Well, not 2 nerfs. One is a nerf, the other one's a rechange. And that is the detonation now does 5% less magical power contribution, which is not significant too much in the early game, but more so in the late game. That 5% can mean a lot, but it's still going to be pretty strong. It's a nice little nerf there. I don't think it's breaking anyway. That's a good little nerf. Then this one got changed where his movement speed used to be 25 across the board. Now it is 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30%. So really, his late game, he's going to be even faster and harder to deal with, while his early game, he's going to be a little bit slower. So that's all fine, I think. The Zeus changes are fine. Zhang Kui, nerfed. All they've done is 2 things. One is Recall Demons no longer heals teammates, which I didn't even know that it did that, because I didn't even know it had a heal. I thought it only gave, it only hurt things that gave them defense, and also immune to cooldown. But there you go. So, Demons pulse out of his bag still every 5 seconds, every second for 5 seconds, so still 5 of those. And he's chasing people, he's immune to crowd control. That's that. But apparently it would heal people. Huh, okay. The real big change, though, is his demon bag. Now he only gets 2 protection per demon. So that cut down his protection by 1/3. And I agree with this just because when Zhang Kui first came out, I thought that's what they were going to do in the first place. Because 60 defense is pretty dang nice. And now it's 40 defense. And that's still good. That's still really good. It's not as good, but it's still a really good defense to have 40. That's still very nice there. It's still going to be significant for him. He's just not going to have 60 defense like he used to when you max it out. And that's fine. Because I really thought that is what they were going to do for him. And you know, it doubles for crap's sakes when you cast the thing anyway. So there you go. When you cast the ultimate. So that is all the nerfs and buffs. And overall disappointed with them. Some of them I'm okay with and agree with. But the majority of them I don't understand and not a fan of them. Now let's take a look at Vulcan. Alright, let's take a look at his portrait and then see his powers and everything. Now, I'm not hiding it that I'm very salty about this. I'm a little disappointed, and I'll show you why in a moment, why I'm so disappointed with this Vulcan patch. Well, with Vulcan in general in this one. They made a big deal about how they're going to remake Vulcan. They hyped it up pretty good. That we're going to see a new Vulcan. He's going to get changed. They're going to make significant changes to him, make him better. And that he was going to become a physical. He's still magical. Still magical, people. That's one. 2 is his passive hasn't changed. It's just only for this now. Vulcan was designed around 2 towers. That's what he was. He's designed around having a tower here and a tower here. Now he only has 1, so his passive only affects this. And his ultimate only affects this. That's what it does. And that is not good. That is really not good. They should have completely reworked him a little bit here. Instead, all they did was give him a new 3, buffed his ult, and that's it. And they also changed one thing on his 1, which is actually a nerf. So they have just, at the moment, completely screwed up Vulcan. That's the way I feel about it, and I don't like it. But let me go and show you why. So his passive, 20%, 20% on his HP and protection go to this tower. Goes to this little buddy right here. They go to him. And then when he's near it, 3% heal. Okay. Not bad. His tower hasn't been changed at all. His ultimate, what it does now is he's still got his movement speed, but now he has 30% damage mitigation, basically. His structure hits 50% faster, and the buff lasts for 6 seconds. That's what that is. So people still need to be in range of this thing, but Vulcan can at least survive better. So this is just a stronger escape for Vulcan. That's what it really comes down to, is it's a better escape for him. Then we have his 1. Now his 1, this is a nerf, in my opinion. They gave it the pushback again. He's got his pushback again, but it no longer has the invincibility frames, which means he can no longer skillfully dodge people using his 1. Why is this a nerf? Because without that to justify it, this pushback does what really? You can close a gap for 2 seconds? Maybe only 1 second? What does that really do? Not having this anymore made this effective for chasing. You could run over, chase someone, hit them with it, and then run over and smack them with your hammer here. Do some Polynomicon hits if you want for that for some reason. Then you hit them with the 1 again, and you could do some really good chase with Vulcan. Now his chase is gone. Vulcan no longer has a chase. He can't follow you with his as well. He can't put his 2 down as well. And he doesn't have a slow anymore with his 3 because it's gone. Instead, though, he has this, which is pretty interesting, though. He has a magma bomb. Let me read it for you first. Vulcan loses a bomb, tosses a bomb that explodes in a radius on impact on the ground, damaging, stunning for 1 second, and knocking back enemy nearby enemies. So basically, this is like on hers when he leaves at you and just bounces you around, or like the water spout from Hebo. It's a better comparison to Hebo's water spout, but it's bigger. And you got to think about where you throw, because you throw in the middle, and see they bounce all around like that. But if you get them with the edges, of course, you'll bounce them towards you. So they made Vulcan a little more skillful in one way and just bad in another way. Because what you can do is you would throw them and get them with the edge of this, and it'll knock them towards you. So we'll show this with Ra in a second. Let's go ahead and get the mana back and go show it with Ra. And I am significantly salty over this patch. Definitely, because I am very disappointed what they did with Vulcan. He didn't get a login screen. He didn't get this. He didn't get that. It's like they hyped it up, and he's not really anything. So you put this down. Ra's he's going to ult it. Crap. Okay, so you're fighting him. If the tower was there, we're there. And then you go ahead and throw this, and you bounce him. Oh, really? You don't have a ignore the place a little bit kind of thing. So you throw that, you bounce him over closer towards your tower. And then you're working him, trying to fight him. You can't melee him because you're getting bounced back by your 1. And you got your tower hitting him, which he should be escaping from, but this guy's not going to because of this. Bounce him, keep him in the range of it, and there you go. So Vulcan, really what he's done is he's gotten more of a... It's an attempt to make him more attacky, sort of. But because of his 1, he loses his ability to chase. So I don't really know about this. Looking at it right now, I don't have good feelings about Vulcan. But we're going to go ahead and play Vulcan. And we will probably play him in Arena, just to test everything out. And then if we do a Conquest, we may. It'll be either a solo, probably not a jungle, because he lost his potential a little bit to set and forget. But definitely Arena, at least for now, and then we'll see if we do a Conquest with him. But I am truly and honestly disappointed. And let's just move on. Alright, if you got to this point, congratulations on getting through 30 minutes of me being incredibly salty. I'm sorry for that. I did not want to be too salty, but dang was I salty throughout this whole thing. I think we all need a drink of water. I know I do. So let's end this a little more positively, can we? Just one last thing though, airing out. I am disappointed overall with this patch. But the positives are, at least we're seeing more remodels, reworks on the old gods. And that's a good sign for the future. Will we agree with the changes or not? Who knows? I don't agree with the Vulcan changes. But maybe the future gods who get changed over, I will agree with. Hopefully I do. And hopefully those go well. Also, we're seeing, of course, the nerfs and buffs are mostly tweaks, which are good. Like, they're not huge changes. The only ones I feel like an over nerf and over buff are 2. There's one over nerf, which is the Amazon Cobb. I don't think he should have been nerfed that hard in that way. I think they should have done some minor tweaks to other things. And the other one is, I think Odin's been over buffed, because 25% physical power is significant. That is a lot of power. He is melee only, of course. People can't escape from him. Of course, he doesn't have a cripple at all. But that is still significant damage there, where he could take some people out pretty hard. So we will see about that. Upcoming I mean, coming up will be Vulcan Arena and Arachne Jungle at some point, and then I'm going to try to do an Odin, and I don't know about the other videos for the week, but we'll see what they are. But definitely going to try to get those, and we'll see how it goes. And thank you for sticking with me with this patch. If you got through all this saltiness, thanks for that. Thanks for listening to all this, my opinions and everything. And let's have fun with an arena.